This is the 2024 Chevy Silverado EV. This is the work truck, specifically the 4WT trim level of the work trucks. And I'd like to give you an exterior tour of this vehicle right now.
Motronics.
As you can see, this model is painted white, and it does have some black elements at the front end, starting with the grille, or really what used to be the grille, as well as this lower part of the front fascia. Interestingly, if you look close enough, you'll see that this front faux grille has a kind of a pattern to it. It's not just a plain pattern like this upper part is. It actually does have a little bit of a texture to it. Gold bow tie right there. And then you have the headlight treatment. So this is Chevy's highbrow headlight treatment, or headlight design, if you will. And it starts with these thin strips of daytime running lights right here at the very top of the truck before moving down into the actual headlight. So this is not the headlight, this is just a daytime running lamp. This is the actual headlamp right here. There is the intake for the front air curtain here, as well as down here. So this improves and optimizes aero. And then there is, since there's no grille here, the Silverado EV, just like every GM EV thus far, they're essentially mouth breathers, if you will. And that's because their intakes for any kind of cooling is located down below. So there's one of the grills, and then the second grill is below. You will see that there is a front-facing camera right there, very nicely integrated into the front fascia. Then there's also the hood. This is a white hood, so it's a little bit difficult perhaps to see the surface development completely here, but it is essentially made up of two sections. One here, this part here, the same thing on this end, these kind of bulging parts of the hood there. And then there is this little depressed area there between these two bulges. And you also have the spine. You can see that there is this spine element running through the hood into the actual front fascia treatment here, into the actual Chevy bow tie, all the way through. And you can see it. It's a nice spine, essentially a middle point to the front fascia as a whole. The Silverado EV also features a front trunk, also known as a frunk, or in the case of Chevy, they refer to it as the E-trunk. Specifically for the work truck trim level, the E-trunk lid is manual, meaning that the lid is manually lifted as well as manually closed. It is not powered. But inside, it has 10.7 cubic feet of space. That's 303 liters. And it also has a 120 volt household style outlet. It has some tools bolted down here at the far end for essentially changing the wheel. So it's a jack and some other tools to change out the change out a wheel, change out a flat. The E-trunk is also watertight and drainable. It has all kinds of attachments for nets and other storage accessories. And it also has a light and a button to open the lid in case someone gets trapped inside of the frunk itself. Very large windshield right there. It's not as upright, at least it doesn't seem to be as upright on the Silverado EV as it is on the internal combustion engine Silverado 1500. And then there is the wheel. So these are not the Steelies. These are in fact a set of black 18-inch wheels. I am a big fan of how they look. I think they look great here. A set of black mirrors. This is a gloss black finish. And there is a set of cameras here. This mirror on the work truck does not get the integrated turn signal indicator, so that is something to keep in mind. Check out the way this mirror is mounted. I am a big fan of this mount. It's a pedestal style mount. That's cool. There's not much going on as far as the surface development on the doors themselves. There's some bulging taking place here. They're obviously bringing this out a bit, and this is the kind of the center point, or the bulge point of the doors before they go down and then bulge out a bit more towards the bottom. Silverado script with the blue E, and we're going to come back to this. This is the kind of the tri-bar, the blue tri-bar here. This is a kind of an Easter egg that takes place and continues throughout the entire truck. There's a running board that runs the length of the wheelbase here. Keyless entry, there it is. But this being the work truck, keyless entry is only at the front doors, not at the rear doors. Very big side windows right here. As you can see, they're quite large in size. The truck does look good from the side, as you can see here. And then there is this sail panel right here that makes it resemble the discontinued Chevy Avalanche. So sail panel there. You can see above the sail panel, there's an integrated spoiler with the chimsel, the center high mounted stop lamp, as well as some backup lights. There they are. Up top on the roof, there is a fin. That's the comms fin that handles the 4G LTE connection plus Sirius and XM connection. The door, check out the size of this door. This is a massive door. It's not small by any stretch. And when you open it, that's when you really notice it, just how big this door truly is. All right, out back, you have the charge port door right here. You can pop that open real quick. There's the charge port right there. You can pull this part out for the DC fast charging. All right, there it is. You do have, just like at the front, the side does have these black wheel arch surrounds. And you do kind of have an integrated splash guard right there at the rear, at the front of the rear wheel as well. And then another one here behind the front wheel there. And actually, what I didn't notice is that the black wheel arch treatment, it actually continues throughout the wheelbase as well. Remember I mentioned this thing here before? Well, it seems to repeat itself there, and it also seems to repeat itself over here at the top of the tailgate. All right, now the rear end. Check this out. So this is your traditional tailgate. There it is right there. Big tail lamps with a large forward sweeping element right there. These tail lamps are different from the tail lamps used on the Silverado EV RST. As you can see, they have quite a bit less detail here as far as the actual inside graphic of the tail lamp, and they do seem to be using an incandescent setup here, not LED. The black wheel arch theme continues into the rear bumper area. This is your corner step here combined with the handhold. You have the Chevrolet script right there as well. This truck is equipped with this tonneau cover. A few interesting things here. So you got the logo here, again, that tri-bar logo that we saw here, as well as on the running boards, as well as on the logo on the sides of the doors. The bumper does have this pattern right here. On the driver's side, it is pointing that way. It's almost like they're boomerangs or arrows pointing to the left. And on the passenger side, boomerangs or arrows pointing to the right. An X brace type pattern right here at the center. You do have tow hitch right there, as well as a whole bunch of parking sensors. Notice that this truck does not have any parking sensors at the side. The parking sensors here are here, right there, and there. By comparison, the RST that I just saw, it has an additional parking sensor roughly in this area right there. WT or work truck badging right there. Rear view camera. This is for when you're in reverse. Gold Chevy bow tie. Pop the tailgate. It's an easy lower tailgate, and I believe it's an easy lift tailgate as well. All right, here's the bed. This truck does not have the midgate. That is not available currently on the work trucks. But what you do have is a large bed, nice and wide. As you can see, they did punch out the bed into the outer edges of the box with only the wheel well covers protruding into the bed itself. There's a set of electrical outlets here. I believe it's, two 120s and one 240. So that's great. That's going to power a lot, including a home. Line that tailgate up. For a work truck, this does look good, in my opinion, and it drives well as well. So do check out my video about the driving impressions, which I will have in the description of this video.
Motrolics.